Action.
Okay, so when imposing your PDF or someone else's PDF, you're going to take their PDF, which here it's called Cookbook PDF. You're going to drag it into this program called Printergy Evo, and when you do, and you're going to drag it into this imposed VPS box, when you do, it's going to create another folder called Refined PDFs, which is going to turn each individual page which is in the PDF into its own PDF, so that when you start using the other program, Prep 7, it will be easy to translate it. So we started by doing this. Now you're going to open Prep 7. You should know the size of your document, and our document is 6.5 by 8.5, and it's going to be four signature spreads. So there's going to be 2 on one side and 2 on the other side, and you're going to fold it in half in order to get the pages right. And so that will fit on an 11 by 17 format for us. So you're going to go under this media tab and click 11 by 17, and you're going to end up with this box. Next, you're going to go into the stock, and you're going to also click 11 by 17, and it's going to offset it for you because it's expecting you to punch the plate, but you don't need it to do that. So you're going to enter 0, and it should center the plate for you. Next, you're going to create your imposition for each of the pages that you're going to drag into this file in a second. So you're going to go up to Job, Create Imposition, and since we know our page is 6.5 by 8.5,
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to enter that in, and since we want only one row of 2, you're going to have horizontal as 1 and vertical as 2. And this will create 2 impositions. We should stop it. So now that we have this imposition, we know that our bind is going to be, do you remember the coinage?
0.12.
Yes, so we're going to give it an 8-inch or an 1/8 of an inch grind channel, so 0.125 on each of them, and you click these numbers to do it. And this will give us enough access to put the so that the grind channel won't go into any of the images. Next, we need to put in the marks and bleeds, or not the bleeds, the trim marks. So you go under marks on this page, and you're going to go to fold and crop marks. So you're going to add these crop marks. And the fold mark should already be in there since it is a 2-page imposition. You're going to need some registration marks so that you know that when you print it, that the pages are exactly lined up front and back. So you're going to need one for the bottom left, the bottom right, the top left, and the top right. And each of those you could put in there. And then last, we need a color bar. We use this Tecon one, and this is a little bit difficult part. So it usually pops up and it's all the way across the page. So you want to make sure that it's smaller and it's not on your imposition of what you're doing. So you click the 11 EPS one, and you make sure that it's not locked to mark in this position. And then I usually center it, and then we can move it to wherever we want. So it's out of the place of the crop marks and the registration marks. Now we're going to number the pages. So you're going to click this one that says page numbering up on the top, and each of these. So when you're thinking about it, you're thinking about one piece of paper folded in half, and you're going to start with page 1. It's going to open. This is page 2, page 3, and page 4. So you have to think about that. So this is page 1, and this is going to be page 4. And that will help with the rest of the registrations of your pages. Now, to add more pages, since this is an 80-page spread, you're going to add as many as you need for the rest of this. So I usually just go until I see 80, but that's me. Other people calculate it, so you're going to need about 20 is what I believe. So yep, you need 20 press sheets, and this is the point where you're going to drag in these PDFs that you created, the refined PDFs that we created in the beginning. So you select all of these and drag and drop into the files right here. And then and then once you have that, you're going to go back up to your first sheet that you created, and you're going to drag in your first page into here, and the rest should define itself from there. Oh wait, you have to select all of them, and then drag it to the first page, and then it will put all the pages into the book for you. So now that we have all the pages, we're ready to print.
Yay!
So this is the Conoco where we are going to print our book from. We sent the file over to this printer, and you're going to see it in this queue of what there is to print. We're going to double click on it. Right now we're just going to print one copy because we only need one copy so that we can check the imposition. We're going to make sure that we force whatever tray we need. So we're going to force tray 4 because that's the only tray that's working right now. And we are going to make sure that we go to print method and do head to head. We're just going to print the document front and back the way that we want it. And then once we've done that, we're going to make sure that the registration marks are correct both front and back so that they match. And if they don't, we're going to go into the finishing aspect of it, and we're going to image position. We measure how far off each of the lines are from each other and adjust accordingly. This may take a few times, but it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're moving it up towards the top of the page, you're going to move it to the rear. And then if you are moving it to the right or to the left, you are going to move it lead, either negative or positive. And after that is done, firstly, we would load the tray with what paper we need. And since this book is going to be printed on 80-pound paper, we look over here and find our 11 by 17 80-pound paper. We're going to grab it and load it into this tray, and since it's already loaded, we just press submit and we're ready to go.
So this is the folding station. First thing you want to do is plug it in. I'm not going to plug it in because we've already been through this. But you plug it in, and then you want to put your paper feed here and make sure you jog it at the jogging station over there. But after you jog it, you put your paper here and you adjust it so that it fits in here. So if I have an 11 by 17, I have to move these to 11 and this one to 11, and then make sure that it's parallel. So just making sure that these don't move. And in order to move them, you just push and turn like so. After the paper feeds in here, this dial determines how fast you want it to print or how slow you want it to print. Right now it's at a 2.5, so it's going to print out really slow. These are your gates. Depending on how many folds you need, you have to have them open. Right now it's open.
This tells you how many folds you need and where to put them.
So it's a single fold. 11 by 17, so you'd have the first gate open at T, and then you wouldn't have the second gate because you're only folding it once. Since our paper was offset, we couldn't exactly do the T gate, so we had to measure one side and then changing it accordingly. So you would measure from the center to the edge, and it was about 8.5. So then you would just move these to whichever you needed, and if you had like small adjustments, you would just move it from the top. If the black part is showing, that means the gate is open. If it's not showing, that means the gate is not open. So if this was reversed, this gate would be closed, but it's not. So this gate is open.
And there's a second gate
Down below.
down below.
And you can just pop these babies out and move them however you want. This allows the vacuum to pick it up and send it through. And then,
A single sheet.
yes, a single sheet. So you can adjust it to be tighter or looser. And if you can't really see it, but you can kind of see it moving here. Yeah. Like, it's moving. Small increments. This button right here is for the vacuum, and this button is to move, cycle it through. So the paper is going to cycle through and come out this end. You want to adjust these so that they're parallel, and you can do that by just moving these. That way when your paper comes out, it's nice and smooth, and it's parallel and not crooked
And stacked.
and stacked.
Go.
So this is the binding workstation. So when we measured our spine, it was 6 millimeters, 0.6 millimeters, my bad. So we had to adjust the glue, which is right here. Oh, it's kind of hot though. To 6 millimeters, 0.6 millimeters. Keep saying that, because when we measured the spine width, that was the spine width.
It needs to feed through here.
So it sticks onto the cover, which we feed through that section
Yep.
up here.
Yep. And then this is the brush section where we also have to
The
measure.
grinding section.
Yeah, where we could adjust right here. Well, I don't want to adjust because I'm not sure if anyone's using this, but you could just adjust these knobs to your size, and then yeah, you can measure from here because there's arrows here which would help you measure. And then this is where you drop your pages for the clamping book section. You would also measure it to 0.6 milliliters as well, up to the arrow, and you can adjust with these knobs as well.
And there's 4 of these, so you're
Yes.
gonna have to cycle through all 4
Cycle
of them.
every time. Yep. And then
Here, one sec.
And then so for like our cover pages, which was 11 by 17, we had to measure again.
You have to move these.
Yes, you can adjust
and
these.
the left center should be. There's a mark here that you can go off of. You can't really see it right now.
Which lines up the spine on the designed cover.
Yep, you can just adjust this, lower this with these buttons. And then when you're ready to test it out, you can just press the feed button, which is this, and it'll go through. And then once it goes through, you can
Score increase the
Yep.
spine.
Yep, and
Where it
then-
will fold
Yep.
to be the pages.
And then once the cover page is in and score, you can
Manually feed it.
manually feed this, as you can see, and it goes all the way in. This clamper wouldn't be here. It wasn't
You've
be
got to
rotated.
clear the nipping
Yeah,
station.
gotta clear.
So this is the nipping station.
So when we manually feed the cover paper in, we would have to adjust these clamps and
The jogger.
yes, by just twisting this knob, and on the other side you would also adjust these, and then if you open this, you adjust these knobs as well to like make sure it's tight but not too tight, because of the jogger once it's all pushed in the paper cover. Yeah, then you make sure it just slides easily.
And so that it is square with the paper, the insides that are coming through this direction.
Yep. So that's the...
No, we're just shooting a video. Yeah. Ready?
Just talk about it, yeah.
So this is the cutting station. Just want to. Wait, did we do this?
Entry 4.
Oh, good.
So here we're cutting it, and we have it at 6.5. Just input it, and then you put something underneath it so that the bottom doesn't get like jagged. And then you put down, cut.